What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I did want to make a video today going over the new area that was going to be added to Maui, or I guess you could say the world improvements that they did end up showing in that trailer. So as y'all know, they did end up adding this really big hotel here. Then they also did end up adding this new type of neighborhood in the side of the map over here as well that was going to be completely empty. On top of that, they also added some other stuff in the corner of the map and filled in some of these areas here, which is pretty dope. But I did want to go over a few things about this and give some of my honest thoughts and kind of the confusion on why they did end up adding this basically 4 months later into Season 6 for the update. Now, we all do know Maui was going to be added as part of Season 5. It was going to be this big island here that you can all tell is probably going to be a pretty good size, even though there's a lot of empty things around it. It is a pretty good size and a lot of things you can mess around with and stuff like that. But with that, we're also going to get new additions and the world improvements into it, which I honestly found a bit odd. But the first thing a lot of players I would say are probably going to go visit is this gigantic thing here, which is going to be a hotel. And before you say, yes, this is going to be a real location, let me pull into this somewhere. I guess I'll just drive right into it. I don't know if I can explore other parts of it by doing that, but I'll just drive up into here and check it out. But as you guys can see, though, it is going to be a pretty cool detailed area. Like, you can mess around with it, check some stuff out. I would say it's going to be the type of thing players might drive through, probably go, okay, this is pretty dope, and then they are most likely going to be there on their way, and then most likely look at other stuff and all that. But if we are looking at the hotel itself, I would say they did a pretty good job with it. Now, do let me know in the comments below, guys. I haven't seen the hotel online. I was going to take a look at it in a second, but I would say it's going to be fairly accurate, I think. I do know it's probably not going to be 100%. We all do know many things are probably going to be off by textures or something like that, or, colors and all that, so it's not going to completely match, but hey, I guess it does look pretty insane. It is going to be a new addition. I do admit, though, it's kind of odd they decided to add this now. The next thing I am going to look at, though, is going to be this neighborhood here. Now, unfortunately, it is going to be dark out, so it is going to be a tad harder to show this at the moment, but it is going to basically be a neighborhood with around 50 plus houses or so, all looking the exact same and basically the same roofs. Look at that. The time thing changed, or like the lights came on. That's pretty dope. If I zoom out a little bit, I guess you guys can see that a little bit better. But as you can see here, though, all the roofs are going to be the same and stuff. And yes, it's basically going to be 50 buildings copy and pasted. Now, before you say anything, though, I also thought the exact same thing. I was like, yo, why would they add 50 plus houses? This is kind of lazy, right? Well, it does turn out, guys, this entire neighborhood in Hawaii is going to be called the Wailea Point, which is going to be a real place located in Hawaii, which I would say is, probably not that surprising. But one thing I laughed at, though, is when I was looking at this, I was like, yo, this is legit kind of funny. Like, this is going to be the exact same house basically every single place here. And it does turn out, well, it is going to be a real place. So I gotta admit, like, I can't really hate on that stuff. But it also brings me into something I did want to talk about, though. I understand they wanted to add in part of the map. Like, for example, they did want to put in the big hotel, fill in this area, because a lot of the stuff over here, like, for example, even this hotel here, like, this whole area was a bit empty and stuff. There wasn't really that much stuff going on, so I kind of understand why they wanted to fill this in and probably make it look more alive. Like, for example, the previous look of this area, well, there was basically nothing here but roads and stuff. Like, all these roads were here. You could probably tell there's supposed to be something there, but it quite probably wasn't done or something. And part of that also made me think about this area, because when you were looking at it, you can kind of tell that, yeah, it was a bit empty and stuff. And then boom, here in the World Improvements trailer, we did end up seeing they filled this in, and it's going to be based off the real place that is in Hawaii. Now, if you are wondering, it's not going to be an exact look of that, because every place in the real thing, which I will have photos of it, is going to be red roofs and stuff. The buildings are fairly similar, but they are also going to be a tad different in some places, which I get. But they basically did want to put in the entire neighborhood into the area here, and to put in the big hotel, kind of fill in parts of the map, which I do understand. Like, that's going to be dope. But here's the thing, man, I gotta admit something as well on top of all of it. It is a bit odd to me, though, that was going to be a focus they wanted to do on Maui, instead of adding more events to the entire map. Now, the reason why I do say this is, again, don't get me wrong, it's cool they did add some world improvements, updated some stuff here, but I'm going to take a wild guess and say maybe the reason why they did that is it was probably planned to be here, but probably wasn't completely finished, so they probably were like, yep, we'll add it later on in like season 6. We'll fill in the area then. That's kind of what I was thinking with it, because when you were looking over here again, it was going to be like open fields, and then the houses and stuff weren't going to be here and all that. So like, I guess that's kind of what I was thinking with it. Then they did end up adding it in. And the first thing that came to my mind with this though is this is cool, but why was that such a focus on filling in the tiny part over here in Wailea when there is going to be a huge part of the map? As you guys can see, I was zoomed in, so I was on that at a wonky angle there if you are wondering. But look at the size of this entire island, man. It's kind of odd they picked that one side to finish it when there is a bunch of empty areas around the map. Like, personally, I understand they probably had that planned. Like, I'm going to guess right now and say this was again supposed to be in there, but it probably wasn't done. Like, that's going to be my guess. But when I am looking at the map, though, I'm like, okay, that's cool they added it, but again, you'll probably go over there, check it out. Like, for example, guys, I think I drove around in that area maybe 2 or 3 times or something like that, kind of checked it out, and I was like, cool, let me go do some races or something else now because I don't really care for this stuff over here, which is why I honestly wish they would have put more time into more events and stuff, because again, I'm going to show the map here, guys. There are so many empty areas here. If we actually go here and show the events or whatever, there's going to be a total of 190 in the game. You can see how many are going to be on the new map of Maui. There's not going to be any plane or, boat racing, stuff like that. There is barely any off-road races in this game, which I have to say that again. And there is literally off-road areas everywhere, bro. Like, legit going all over the place. Like, look at this right here, guys. Look at this, okay? This is something I was going to talk about in a different video, but we're already here now, so I figured might as well talk about this a little bit. I might split this up in another video because it's mad frustrating. There is barely any off-road races in the game right now, which I will show you guys this here. Let's go over to Rallycross, and it's Rally. There's 4 events in the entire game for Rally, bro, and there's only 1 race here on Maui. The thing is, the entire map is covered in off-road areas, though, which I was showing before, guys. That is an entire off-road area of network there that goes this way, comes around all the way over here, bro. Look at this. Like, there is so many roads everywhere. This one even goes up the mountain there that goes into the new area of Red Bull, which I'm probably going to guess and, say they're going to add some races that are going to finally be part of that in the 2 month or so away playlist in that one. But again, look at all the off-road areas and like things you can see around here, like this road going down that way. Those can legit all be tracks. There's so many things. Let's zoom in over here, guys. Again, look at all the off-road here. Like, check this out. Goes down into there, comes around that side. Like, there is so many areas in the game, man. It really does surprise me a bit. Like, I don't understand why there isn't more events. And that was something I'm still thinking about even right now. I do understand they, again, wanted to fill in part of the bottom of the map. It probably wasn't done, so they finished it in Season 6. I get it, I really do, but at the same time, I'm like, shouldn't the focus be in other places? Like, I just gotta say that. Like, we all do know there are so many areas around Maui they can do events and stuff, and I really feel like that probably should be the main focus, filling in this island. Funny part is, guys, I was legit seeing people saying they can't wait for the new island to be added that is going to be part of all of this, okay? Quick example here, we have Maui all the way over here. We're then going to have Oahu in this area, which is going to be obvious. This is the first island. We're then going to have the tiny island over here, guys, to the top left area there. Now, the thing I find funny is everybody wants another island, okay? Do y'all really want to have another island whereas Maui is already super empty to begin with events and stuff? Wouldn't you rather have this island being completely filled in with new stuff before we get another empty island? Just an honest question there. They can easily fill this entire island in. I'm not even talking about off-road events either. There is so many roads they could probably do small race and stuff around this entire map. Even more boat events, plane stuff all over the entire map of Maui, man. Like, look at this. It's huge. There is so many areas and different roads they can do. They can have drift events clearly in this road area network here. They can have races and stuff, maybe going around some of these roads, off roads pretty much everywhere. They can have different races around these little towns and stuff. Like, there is a lot of things they can do. I mean, heck, I'm surprised there's not a single boat race being over here in this really beautiful area of the island. There's clearly going to be plenty of room for that. Why is that not a thing? They could probably even throw in some rally raid events going around over in these areas, maybe crossing over the bridge. And then after that, you could probably go left and head toward this way into the fields, or go right or something, go this way. Maybe head up the entire mountain, go into over here. There is so many different pathways they can do for so many different events. I mean, heck, we have all talked about it. There's so many races. They kept highlighting the entire map. It is going to be beautiful, but why not fill this in with more content, more events? And I feel like this is probably going to come down to the entire, I guess, playlist, like terrible design there, that pretty much does limit almost everything. But I do know for a fact, though, I'm not the only person that has wondered about the entire, I guess you could say, neighborhood and hotel being added. Why was that like a focus type of thing? I was talking with a friend about this, and they were also confused on it. There is going to be some issues in the game that definitely need some help. And it's kind of odd they were focusing on an entire neighborhood on the side of the map. Weird. Do let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. I am curious. I do know for a fact everybody's probably similar to me. Fill in the map, man. I would love to see more races. Maui is going to be gorgeous. They can easily connect a lot of races on it. Boats, planes, literally every class in the game can be over here. I mean, look at it. So many empty areas. And when I was hearing about people going, yo, we need the other island, I'm like, ha! What? Like another island, bro? They need to fill this one in first. Like, what do y'all? It's just confusing. But again, let me know what y'all think in the comments below.